You know, we just came off of the diversity is unfolding back into the format, and then you have things like this regional that happen. LOL to the 34% of you. Ah, man. Let me tell you, man. You know, the first video you saw this morning was the diversity is returning back to the game, and it looks very, very, very promising on some aspects. And then you turn back to another regional, and then you're like, oh boy, yay, just what I want to see, a 6-tier and a 2-sprite regional. You know, for the Stay Weird Gaming regional, that's not that surprising to kind of see. Actually, just for online regionals, they're definitely more competitive for what they are. And I mean, like, what you had Rika get 9th place, which is a little bit nice of a sigh fresh of air, and you had Spellbooks get 14th place. But here's the thing that gets me most about this. You know, we're heading on into another potential shift here in the format, where you're going to get the chance to see macrocosmo.deck, you know, offset a majority of what you're already seeing. I saw that, what was it, Grim YGO just hosted a post-Photon Hypernova tournament, and the results for that were pretty much what you expected. What was it? Pac was playing, I don't remember off the top of my head. I know he ended up winning the event, if I recall, but it was kind of interesting just to see, like, the developments of that format versus now, because do things actually inherently get worse? I think that the answer is to some degree that they do. The fact that, yeah, Pac was playing tier with Kurikara, so now you've got to really ask yourself at this point is like, oh boy, you know, like, does the format actually evolve and get much worse? It's definitely something, that's for sure. Like, that's what I'm worried about at this point, is like the pie charts that you're already seeing right now. Is, do you just see the overflow meta change here from, you know, you guessed it, like the crazy power scaling that we're already seeing now from tier, from like Sprite to like Cash tier? Because, you know, when those macrocosmo decks invert in here and actually smash through the metagame, it's gonna be, it's not gonna be a fun time. And that's, man, I don't know. I'm very intrigued to see how things are going to go. So for the hope of the end of the format here, here's what we got. We know that Cashier is going to smash through, is going to warp this pie chart, and hopefully get the chance to kind of change up some stuff. But what I'm really afraid of here is the fact that you're going to see a top end shift. All of those rogue decks that are really kind of grabbing on right now, I have a feeling that they're going to get smashed out of the format, and you're going to see, unfortunately, some pretty major shifts. Because if you have a new deck come into the format that can access, oh wait, that's Macrocosmo at any stage in the game, all of these graveyard resilient OTK decks that need their resources to pile through, well, now they get pressed out of this. Now, why does tier not get completely pressed out of this versus something else? Well, when an entire deck has as much, you know, access to combo lines and, you know, generation that you really do get to see with Kashtira, and honestly, like, the consistency being pressed up through that as well, you kind of gotta understand that, like, the consistency factor is what really matters for this. So it's really going to matter. Now, on that note, on the fact that you do see, you know, a new Macrocosmo deck push in here to kind of change things up here, you do get a new set of rogue decks. I think that that's really worth mentioning here, because Abyss Actor definitely does get to enter into the fray. And I do think, and I don't think Abyss Actor is going to kind of sit at the top here and be like this crazy, like, hey, You know, like, I can top a regional with this. I think that the best actors are good enough that you can get your top 32 with it. And I think that's really honestly saying something here. I think a lot of people either are going to agree or disagree with me on that, but to be perfectly honest with you, the deck does seem good enough to be able to do that, all right? You just got to kind of know your combo lines and know what you're doing. And there's not going to be a lot of people that are really going to want to sit through here and be like, except for like maybe the 10 people that are already like Abyss actors. And then of course, you know, you have the new ship coming out as well. Like, trust me when I say this, that new stupid ship is really, really good for our dear friends out here at the Plunder Patrol. They can now get tokens to stop you from evenly matching them, all right? That's a lot. Oh, Gishki gets a new evolution. Yeah, so that's something else too. So because of the way that the format is about to turn, you are going to have Sprite Gishki actually be something that you might have to deal with. Now, is it going to be more consistent than the already established variant? That's going to be something left to be determined. I do think that you can see that potential deck actually step up to the plate, but it's going to come down to, is the already established variant better than the Gishki variant, or will we see a diversity shift where we could see both decks at the top cut? I don't know. I'm very curious about that. Other things to really note that can change this pie chart. I mean, we have a new Bysteel coming out here, but the problem with Bysteels now going forward, as long as Kashtira exists as a deck, is they become dead draws. Like, I'm sorry to say this, like, the Bysteels are powerhouses. That's why one big thing that you are going to see that's going to set this format apart on the RNG scale is if you have to main deck Bysteels to counteract tier, and then you play against, you guessed it, something like dear old Kashtira, your Bysteel value just went down the crapper. And those are now dead draws in a matchup where you don't want to see dead draws, all right? You want to be able to see all of these. You want to be able to see power cards to filter you through. So that's one really big thing that I don't think a lot of people have really accessed yet is, right now in the current format, those Bysteel cards are monsters. They are absolute powerhouses to get you an actual chance to play the game. But now, main decking Bysteel value is about to go down the crapper. So that's a really, really big thing here that's going to change. I mean, you get one new powerful Bysteel, sure, but your access points to them kind of go down the toilet at this stage. So it's amazing how one set can shift so much in the metagame. But for now, yeah, I'm still not pleased. The purpose of making this video was to go, LOL, at least things get a little bit more diverse in the upcoming sets. Also, Labyrinth is going to show up as well, you know, with weight measuring and Big Welcome Labyrinth. I think that it will probably set where, like, Rika is right now in the current format, where it can top. Will it be a consistent topper? I mean, yes and no. We're no strangers to seeing the RNG side of things in this game. I mean, that's the thing that makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Such a, like, cool, unique game, is, like, how much randomness can actually topple through a format, you know? And like I said, looking at that pie chart there, seeing that Rika, you know, got 9th place, seeing the fact that you had Spellbooks, you know, crater through, and also get into a top slot as well. I mean, it's still top 16 effectively at the end of the day, but I think that that's really worth noting. So, but my question to you is, what are you most excited about here? What change, what new crazy toy are you excited for here as we unfold into the next set? Because there's all sorts of cool things coming along the way here. That's honestly what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, exciting at this stage, is like, hey, cool new idea 5,000, you know? It's just, what practicality or new thing are you most useful for? And of course, you know, you do have triple tactic tasking coming here, which in and itself is going to warp the game. All right, you gotta love the fact that, oh boy, take control of opponent's monster by searching for regular talents. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of power scaling come. Oh, and a lot of new card prices about to shoot up, but card prices don't dictate the metagame, right? If you're gonna pay to win, you're gonna pay to win. That's what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! The best thing out there. Yeah, format's still crap. It's gonna be just a better refined turd. Same turd, different day. I feel like. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.